Hi, I'm Patrick with all the big bullet points from next week's soaps. There's a bad moon rising as Michael's plan to destroy his father falls into place and Tyler prepares for his big fight against a gorilla named Stiller. But Vanessa tells Eddie about the fight, who confronts Michael, while he in turn blackmails Vanessa into continuing the plan to break Eddie's heart. Meanwhile, Anthony takes $8 grand from the shop to bet on sure thing Stiller. Then Michael tells Jack that Eddie's got it on with Vanessa, and he tells the shocked Carol, who has a showdown with the antique shop owner. The moons gather on the day of the fight, and Tyler's stunned by how fearsome his opponent is when they enter the ring. He takes an absolute pummeling, but somehow, inspired by Whitney, he survives a battering and wins. Like Rocky, he tells Whitney he won the fight for her, then collapses and is rushed to hospital with bleeding on the brain. Eddie's crushed. And when Anthony reveals he bet the $8 grand on Stiller, he tells his son he wishes it was him on death's door, not Tyler. A vicious Michael turns on his father about his mother, but Eddie comes out with the full story. A story so unexpected, Michael's life's turned upside down. Next, we're in Weatherfield. Guess who turns up just as Steve wonders if there is a life with Becky after all? Toxic Tracy returns with Amy, and some big news. But before she can reveal she's pregnant with his baby, Steve tells her he hates her. A crestfallen Tracy decides to have an abortion, but Deirdre is horrified and tells Steve the news. He refuses to be a father to the baby, but will he really let her go through with it? Well, after Deirdre begs Steve to stop her, he gives his mediation with Becky a miss to rush to Tracy's clinic. Meanwhile, Lloyd feels sorry for Becky and tells her she can have the cab flat, just as Steve arrives with Tracy to give her the flat. Becky's crushed to learn about the baby, but she tells Tracy she's keeping the flat and she's going to bleed Steve dry. Carla's getting definite jitters when Frank tells her their offer for the posh house in Cheshire's been accepted. She tells him they're moving too fast. But hang on, aren't you getting married next week? Carla calls in her solicitor to talk about the rights to the business if she splits from Frank, just as he walks through the door. Try explaining that one. Finally, it's Emmerdale. Aaron's doing a good job of pulling the wool over people's eyes, but it's not hard to see what's going on behind his eyes. He seems to be doing okay and decides to go back to college, but he's shaken by the strength of his feelings when he loses it with Rachel's nephew Sean. Then he bumps into old flame Flynn, who tries to comfort him, until Aaron lays into him in a fury. Later, Sean does a runner with the cash tin from the garage, and Aaron, mentally and physically exhausted, gives chase, but collapses. He's at absolute rock bottom, and something's got to give, but what will it be? Andy and Alicia are at each other again, when he finds out she hasn't told Jacob they're not moving to Spain. So he tells her she'd be better off with someone else so he can concentrate on Sarah. Ouch. Carl's straight in there when he learns she's single, and Andy is fuming when he spots them kissing after their date. So all of a sudden, he wants her back.